Karrion Kross was once seen as a future main event star. His initial NXT run positioned him as a dominant force, quickly climbing the ranks with decisive wins over major names, including Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, and Finn Balor. WWE presented him as nearly unstoppable, with a unique entrance and a strong pairing with Scarlett that made him stand out in a crowded roster. However, the momentum completely collapsed the moment he arrived on the main roster. On his Raw debut in 2021, Kross was defeated in under 2 minutes by Jeff Hardy. The loss wasn't the only issue. He appeared without Scarlett, with no entrance presentation, and wearing strange gladiator-style gear that was widely criticized by fans and wrestlers alike. It immediately damaged his image, and the company never truly rebuilt it. After that, his appearances became inconsistent. He was pulled off TV, reworked, and eventually released. When he returned in 2022 under Triple H's creative direction, many expected a proper second chance. He was reintroduced with Scarlett and his original presentation, and attacked Drew McIntyre to signal a major push. But once again, that push stalled within weeks. Backstage reports began surfacing explaining why WWE continued to avoid committing to Kross long-term. Wade Keller of PW Torch revealed that there were concerns about how Kross takes bumps in the ring. Multiple sources noted that Kross avoids standard flat-back bumps, and instead falls awkwardly to one side. While this might seem like a small detail, it's viewed internally as a serious issue, as it can increase the risk of injury for opponents and makes matches look unnatural. This concern reportedly made agents hesitant to book him in longer matches or high-profile rivalries. In WWE's current environment, where wrestler safety and match flow are tightly controlled, any deviation from expected ring performance becomes a red flag. The company prefers talent who are fully trusted in the ring, especially on live TV, and Kross's bumping style placed him outside that circle. The issue isn't limited to performance either. Another theory surrounding Kross's stalled momentum relates to his current contract status. His WWE deal is reportedly set to expire in August 2025, and the company has a history of holding back talent who haven't re-signed. By keeping Kross out of key storylines, WWE avoids giving negotiating leverage to a talent who could walk away with momentum. In his current run, Kross has mostly been featured in short backstage segments, tag matches, or mid-card rivalries that never fully develop. Even when he wins, it often leads nowhere. The lack of follow-through has created a pattern that fans are beginning to notice. Kross appears, makes an impact, then quickly fades out of focus. Despite strong character work and an intimidating look, WWE has shown little interest in rebuilding him as a top-tier threat. The promotion has instead focused its attention on other rising stars, leaving Kross stuck in a cycle of reboots and resets. As of now, there are no reports of creative plans involving him in any major summer storylines. He's not featured prominently on premium live event cards, and his current rivalries are either short-lived or untelevised. This has led to speculation that WWE is either winding down his run or intentionally stalling it until a contract decision is made. Kross himself has remained professional, continuing to promote his character on social media and in backstage interviews. But internally, there seems to be little confidence in pushing him beyond the mid-card. Some believe WWE is simply waiting to run out the clock on his deal without taking any major risks. The company has done this before with other talents, slowing down their appearances, removing them from title contention, and eventually letting their contracts expire without major announcements. If the same pattern follows here, fans may not see Kross in any meaningful position before his current deal ends. What's most surprising is that even with the backing of Triple H, who initially pushed him in NXT, the main roster still hasn't embraced Kross. This suggests that the concerns go beyond just creative direction, and may be rooted in long-standing backstage opinions that haven't changed, even after his return. If nothing changes by the end of summer, Kross may either have to renegotiate his role with WWE or begin exploring opportunities outside the company. His skill set, look, and presence still give him value, but without a push, those assets continue to fade from TV week by week. Kross's situation isn't unique, but it is one of the most visible examples of WWE shelving someone with clear potential. In most cases, a performer either gets repackaged, sent back to NXT, or quietly released. But with Kross, WWE hasn't pulled the trigger in either direction. Instead, he's being left in a holding pattern that fans can clearly see. At live events, he still gets reactions. His presentation remains strong. But when the weekly shows are planned, he's often left off the card or placed in filler segments that don't lead anywhere. This is WWE's way of using talent without investing in them. Enough to keep them visible, but not enough to rebuild them. Even in backstage politics, where alignments with creative heads can protect a career, Kross hasn't found consistent support. Triple H brought him back, but that initial wave of momentum was short. Once again, after a few appearances, he was pulled from the spotlight and replaced with newer projects. Names like Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, and Carmelo Hayes are getting priority. Meanwhile, Kross is waiting, and with his contract expiration approaching, WWE may simply be trying to run out the time without giving him the platform he needs to rise again. If Kross resigns, there's still a possibility that WWE will make a long-term play to rebuild him. But that depends on whether the internal concerns, especially around in-ring safety, are addressed. Until then, WWE seems content to use him sparingly while focusing on more consistent performers. Whether fans agree with the decision or not, the message is clear. WWE has doubts, and as long as those doubts remain, Kross won't be booked like a future world champion. The most frustrating part is that this isn't about fan reaction or crowd engagement. Kross hasn't had the chance to even fail in front of a proper audience on a consistent basis. His presentation was damaged early, and WWE never gave him the platform to recover. A few squash matches here and there, a couple of promos backstage, and then weeks without a single appearance. That isn't how stars are built in this era. There's also the issue of timing. Kross returned during a period when WWE was reshuffling the roster and bringing in younger names, returning veterans, and experimenting with new factions. Amid all of that, he was pushed to the side. Even his feud with Drew McIntyre, one of the few main event-level rivalries he's had, felt rushed and unfinished. It didn't end with a decisive moment that elevated Kross. It just stopped. Internally, Kross has also been viewed as someone who doesn't adapt easily to WWE's evolving style. Today's in-ring product relies on fast pacing, strong sequences, and chemistry between performers. While Kross has a unique look and presence, his ring work is often described as slow, mechanical, and incompatible with the current TV format. It's not just about having a different style, many wrestlers do. It's about whether that style can connect with modern audiences across multiple segments per week. In developmental, WWE allows room for that. But on the main roster, there's little patience. If someone doesn't hit metrics, whether that's TV ratings, merch, online traction, or even agent trust, they're quickly cycled out. And that's what's been happening with Kross since 2022. Nothing sticks. Agents have reportedly limited the number of matches he gets. Producers often favor pairing him in tag formats where he doesn't need to carry full segments. Even the choice of opponents lately shows that WWE isn't testing him with top names anymore. He's kept away from championship contenders, and when he does appear, it's often in matches with low stakes and minimal crowd investment. Even when Kross wins, there's no real momentum. His victories aren't treated as significant. They don't lead to interviews, contract signings, or even confrontations with higher-level stars. The wins exist in a vacuum. This approach keeps his record protected on paper, but doesn't do anything for his career. WWE has done this before with other talents, giving them matches that technically look like a push but actually go nowhere. It's a quiet form of phasing someone out. The presentation stays intact, the booking looks neutral, but the momentum dies behind the scenes. That's where Kross is right now. In the current WWE landscape, where acts like Gunther, LA Knight, and Braun Breaker are being positioned aggressively, Kross feels like a backup plan. If something opens up, he might get slotted in. But he's not being developed as the first choice, or even the second. He's just present. Even his promos, which were once a key part of his appeal, aren't being used. WWE hasn't handed him live mic time in months. Everything is pre-taped or short. This suggests the company either doesn't trust the delivery or sees no reason to invest promo time when there's no payoff scheduled. His alliance with Scarlett is still treated as an asset, but the creative team doesn't seem interested in using it beyond entrance visuals. The mystique is there, but WWE hasn't connected it to any meaningful storylines. They're leaning on the aesthetic without building any story around it. The truth is, if WWE wanted to push Karrion Kross, they would have done it already. There were multiple chances. He returned with impact, he feuded with a top star, and he had the look and presentation to be slotted into almost any era. Instead, WWE kept him waiting. And now, the window may be closing. When a wrestler gets caught in this kind of limbo, there are usually two outcomes. Either they find a way to adapt and reset, like Jinder Mahal did in 2017, or they're released quietly, like so many others who didn't fit into long-term plans. Right now, Kross is still in the waiting phase. But waiting never leads to a push in WWE unless something changes dramatically. With his contract reportedly expiring in August 2025, the silence surrounding him could mean that WWE is simply biding time. They don't want to invest in a talent who might leave, and without a restructured deal or a major in-ring turnaround, there's very little chance of a late push happening. The longer Kross stays off major storylines, the harder it becomes to reintroduce him. Fans forget quickly, and WWE rarely gives a third reset unless a performer forces it with undeniable reactions or external buzz. Right now, neither of those things is happening. He's not trending, not getting major crowd reactions, and not being positioned for surprises. If things continue this way, his WWE career may quietly fade out, just like his last run did. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think WWE is wasting Karrion Kross, or are they making the right call? Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming WWE stories and updates.